good night to you and a good morning to me. Thank you for tuning in to more scary stories with me, your host, Nibs the Vampire. This week, while I was scrolling Reddit, I was trying to find truly scary things. I haven't really thought or added anything new to my list of things that I thought were particularly scary. It's hard because I'm a vampire now and I can pretty much protect myself in any situation. So things that I used to find scary aren't really that scary to me anymore. And while I was scrolling Reddit, I found a home invasion story and I was like, damn, I used to really be scared of home invasions because I didn't ever have a way to protect myself before. And I'd imagine the home invasions are still very, very scary occurrences that happen to people. Hopefully, they don't happen as often as I just hope they don't happen that often, and I hope everybody stays safe. So, today's theme is going to be all about scary home invasion stories. Now, to be fully transparent, all the stories that I'm reading for you tonight, I did find on Reddit. I went through and was searching through the crevices and cracks and creaks of Reddit. It's one of my favorite places to be, so I don't mind sharing scary stories that I find with you from Reddit on here. But I would eventually like to read your scary stories. The goal is to have a catalog of scary stories by you, the listeners, real scary stories, true crime encounters, paranormal stories, anything that was scary that gave you chills or nightmares. I want to know about it. Please send it to me. It would mean the world to me. You guys don't know how happy it makes me to read scary stories first thing when I wake up at night. It sets my night off in the best way possible. So if you guys could do that for me, I would really, really appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get into some scary home invasion stories. This first story is brought to us by spooky_Mennonite, and it was posted 2 years ago. The title is Home Invasion Turned Creepy. I think all home invasions are creepy. I'm still pretty jarred from this experience, but I figured it'd be easier to share about it than keep dwelling on this. A couple days ago, someone broke into my house while I was asleep. I work night shift, so sleeping during the day is something you learn to get used to. Around 6:30 p.m., I heard what I thought was a loud knocking sound coming from outside and my dog's going absolutely ballistic. For reference, I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere. My closest neighbor is a half a mile away. But back to the story. I somewhat wake up, don't really think anything of it since my neighbors like to shoot their guns, and this was during hunting season. As I start falling back asleep, my heart started fluttering weird, like I knew something wasn't right. That's when I heard loud footsteps through the house. The dogs were still barking, but start to quiet down. That's when I really begin to worry. When I think my dogs would protect me at a time like this, fat chance. The footsteps stop on the other side of my bedroom door and doesn't move. I think this is how I'm going to die, and although I had a weapon in my room, I knew I couldn't get to it without being heard. Always keep the weapon within distance of the bed. I felt like an eternity before the steps moved across and towards my brother's room. Rustling can be heard loudly through the house and things being thrown. I knew they were in my brother's room. Some of his friends are into seedy situations, and I knew it had to be one of them. I heard the footsteps come back to my door, and the doorknob handle moves. I immediately turn my back towards the door and close my eyes tight, a hand over my mouth to stop from screaming. The door opens, but that's it. Then he leaves as a car drives down the road. I finally bucked up the courage and got out of bed. Everything in the house, except for my brother's room, was undisturbed. I immediately called my brother and asked if any of his friends were coming over. He said not that he knew of, and I told him what happened. He got off the phone with me and started calling around. I went back to bed and noticed that I still had my window cracked from earlier and realized I had my sheet off me wearing only a t-shirt to bed. If it was who I think it was, this wasn't a random event. One of my brother's friends has always had eyes for me, and the fact that he saw me sleeping in just a t-shirt makes me freak out. Whether or not he took something out of my brother's room or knew I was home alone sleeping before having to work later that night, I don't know. I'll post an update when I hear from my brother. You move out of the country to get away from the activity of the city life and you let your guard down. That's when something like this happens. Sometimes country life isn't so safe after all. Update. Sorry, y'all, for the late update. It's been a crazy week, but thank you for bearing with me. My brother got back to me with news I absolutely dreaded hearing. None of his friends said or claimed to have been at the house at the time of the incident. So now I'm even more afraid of who was in my home and what their intentions were. They could have been scoping out my house during the day. Now that my county had decided to extend the gravel on my road that connects to the farming community I live near. I just hope I don't have another visit like this anytime soon, but if there is a next time, I'll be sure to be ready for them. I'm so sorry that you moved out of the city's chaos and into the nice, quiet countryside for this to just happen out in the countryside. That sucks. Maybe tell your brother to stop bringing over CD and nefarious friends so that you can actually keep your peace. The other thing I was going to say, glad you have a weapon in your room. Next step would be maybe to put it maybe under the bed or in a nightstand so that way you can reach it if you're just like jolted awake, you can reach over, grab it and know that you're protected if something like this ever happens again. Get security system in place. Get some loud alarms. I feel like loud alarms would definitely scare off a home intruder. But yeah, I'm glad that your doggies woke you up and also kept you safe-ish. My other thought is that if the dog started quieting down, it might have definitely been someone that's been to the house before. Even though they were going ballistic, it sounds like they started to calm down maybe once they got a scent of who it was and were like, oh, this person's been here before, not a problem. Sounds to me like your brother might be the problem here. I don't know. He needs to make better friends. But for reals, get a security system and stay safe out in the countryside. We don't want anything to happen to you. This next story is brought to us by username Dep2Baguette, and they titled it The Most Casual Home Invasion Ever. And honestly, if I was still human, I probably would have a baguette Dep by this point. I remember loving them. Okay, so let's start the story. This took place back in 2003 when I was a spry old age of 8. It was a Saturday, so I was home from school, and I dedicated my day to playing Spyro Year of the Dragon for hours on end on my PlayStation. My dad normally worked on weekends, and my mom was on a Monday-Friday schedule, so she took the opportunity to grab groceries during her days off. Both mom and dad always made a big point of never leaving me alone for very long, maybe an hour at the maximum before I was a bit older. This particular day, she had asked me if I wanted to join her on her weekly shopping run, which I was usually incentivized to do so I could sneak some candy bars into the cart. But that day, I was really vibing playing Spyro. I asked her nicely if I could please stay so I could finish my game, and without much protest, she agreed as long as I did my chores. That sounded like a deal to me, so I happily accepted and she was on her way. No more than 10 minutes after she had left, I heard our front door open and shut. My initial thought was maybe mom forgot her sunglasses or something, so I stayed in my room a bit longer since I was mid game, anyways. About 60 seconds later, I heard cupboards opening and shutting, and I noticed that the footsteps seemed a bit heavier than my mom's. And at this point, I figured dad had come home from work unexpectedly, so I paused my game and went into the kitchen to see what was happening. When I walked around the corner, I froze completely. Before me stood a gigantic, strange man that I had never seen before. He was pouring himself some coffee out of our pot that was still heated from a couple hours prior. My memory may not be serving me correctly, but I remember thinking he was the largest guy I had ever seen. I'd estimate he was around 6'5" and must have weighed a solid 280 pounds. Oh my gosh, that must be huge to an 8-year-old child. Within moments, he noticed my presence. Hey, little man. I just remember him saying in a strangely calm demeanor, just grabbing a little bit of coffee before I head back to work. He must have been in his 50s or so and had a long gray beard/slash mustache combo to boot. He also wore one of those throw over yellow safety vests that construction workers wear on the job. Every fiber of my being wanted to nope the fuck out of there, but his tone was strangely calming. He seemed to genuinely be nice despite being a complete stranger that I knew for a fact was not supposed to be in our home. I managed enough courage to ask him what he was doing here, and he responded by saying he was a friend of my dad's and was just popping in for a quick second. In retrospect, I should have questioned him further, but I already was pretty disturbed by the randomness of it all, so I just said, okay, and returned to my room where I promptly locked the door. A few minutes passed while he presumably finished his coffee. After that, he knocked on my door and left me with a heading out now, sport. Tell your dad I said thanks for the coffee and I'll see him Monday. He couldn't have just left. He had to scare you like that? Oh no. He then immediately left through the front door again, and I watched him walk down the street and out of sight from my bedroom window. About a half an hour later, my mom returned from the store, and I was quick to tell her about what happened. As you'd imagined, she was completely and totally freaked out by the ordeal. She made two calls, first to my dad's workplace to talk to him, and then to the police. For what it's worth, my dad is an engineer and worked in a relatively small tool and die shop, so I don't think any of his coworkers would have been wearing construction vests. I gave a short statement to the police officer that showed up to the house in order to try and identify the man, but we never received any updates from that. My mom swears that she locked the door as she always does before she left, so either it slipped her mind or the guy somehow unlocked it on his own without using any sort of brute force. We ended up investing in a pretty high end home security system for extra assurance, and thanks to that guy, I never got out of going to the store with my mom again. Security was a good idea. That is very creepy and very casual. The audacity of this man to just walk into a house and take coffee. Could you imagine? I mean, like, I do that, but I'm a vampire, so that's different. This is a human. And I'm not taking coffee, like, and scaring little children. That's the biggest difference between me and this guy. Man, that is wild, and I'm very happy that nothing happened to you as an 8-year-old little boy, and you got to just continue on playing Spyro. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. Glad your parents did the right thing though when immediately called the police and got a security system. So hopefully that never happened to you again. This next story comes to us from username Your Local Internet Guy, and it's simply titled Home Invasion. It starts. So, it was a Friday night. Earlier that day, my parents had left to go to an important business meeting early Saturday morning, and the city where the meeting was happening was a long way away, so they left early so that they could get to the city around 6 p.m. and stay at a hotel. So I was left at home to watch my two little brothers and my one little sister. I was 15 at the time, and this was 2017. So this night, I was watching Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yes, I'm British because my siblings really liked the Harry Potter films, when all of a sudden we heard banging on our back door. I got up to see and saw one man at the back door and two men at the kitchen window. They were all wearing black hoodies. I turned off the lights and told my siblings to get upstairs. At this time, one of my brothers was 8, and my other brother was 6, and my little sister was 4. Oh my god, I can't even imagine being in a situation like this with 3 little children. So I turned off the living room light and we started to head up the stairs. As we were doing that, another man approached the front door and started banging on it. We went upstairs and hid in my wardrobe. We heard the men come upstairs, and I heard one of them say, "We just want to kill you, so there's no point in hiding." My siblings were starting to sob. We heard the men go into our parents' bedroom, and I decided to escape. I had lived in the house for my whole life up till that point, so I knew where the creaky parts of the floor were, so I told my siblings where they were and to avoid them. We made it downstairs and I unlocked the door. However, I accidentally swung it open and it hit the wall. I turned around and saw one of the men at the top of the stairs looking at us. He pointed at us and started screaming, but not like a scared scream, but an alert scream. I ran out with my siblings, and as we got out, I heard the man screaming turned into a high-pitched psychotic laugh. We started running to our neighbor's house, which was a good distance away, and we saw the four men chasing us. Luckily, we got in and our neighbors called the police. We waited for the police to arrive and we went back to our house. The four men were nowhere to be found, and there was nothing else to report apart from two broken door windows. Oh, user, I am so sorry that you had to go through this at such a young age. I will say the quick thinking of you to get out of there when you did probably might have saved your lives. Um, that's crazy. Maybe, well, I can't even say that this was too long ago. Who is leaving a 15-year-old alone overnight with three small children? That's a disaster waiting to happen. Look what happened. A disaster. It was waiting to happen and it happened. Maybe PSA, don't leave your kids alone like that if you have kids of that age. I understand a 15-year-old might be able to babysit them for a hot majority of the day, but don't leave them overnight like that, just in case. Just send a babysitter over, send a friend over. But it sounds like everything worked out good. Our user came out safe, and they saved their brothers and sisters while they also were able to escape and go to a neighbor's. Whoa! I think I'm going to upgrade my security system after this episode. I think that might be a good investment. Well, if you stuck around that long for those scary stories, you are a spooky bitch, and I love you so much. I haven't had to think about scary things like home invasions, particularly in a while, because I've been a vampire. But reading the stories and the emotions from the storytellers really put me back in that situation, and these were very scary. So, thank you to the posters for being vulnerable and sharing all these stories with me, because I love reading scary stories, and I'm sure you do too, which is why you're here listening to them. Thank you guys so much again, and I would like to ask that you share my videos with your closest ghouls and gals. If you know anybody that likes scary stories about home invasion that's pretty niche, you can send them this episode. Or just like anything else, if they love vampires, please send them my way. I could always use some more adoring fans. I'm just kidding, kind of. I gotta go now, guys, because I am starving. It has been a minute and I have a donor arriving soon, and I'm still in my pajamas. So you guys have a safe week, and I'll see you here next Friday.